Hello everyone, I'm Vitor, the relocation expert for Nuno Venceslau Luxury Real Estate, powered by EXP. We work with them. So I'm here today with Scott Tips. He's from the US, but he's been living in Europe for about 27 years now. And we're at the Lake House Hotel Resort Hostel here in Portugal. And Scott, this place, I mean, I'll let you say what you want about it, what you like, what you don't like, if there's anything, right?
Okay.
And we were talking to him, and he's interested in investing in the property, and we're actually kind of looking also for a potential partner for Scott, because this is a great opportunity, and that's what we want to share with you on this video, right? Scott, thank you very much for being here.
My pleasure. It's an unexpected surprise, but it's a pleasure. And I'm happy to share my thoughts on the property. It's a marvelous piece of real estate. I mean, look at the view. The view alone is worth its weight in gold. And the fact that it's in a historical area too. You know, this surrounding area, the Knights Templar and the history, and there's an old Roman bridge just within a short driving distance of this hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really one of the things that most attracted me to it was how clean it is. There's nothing you need to do to it. It's a turnkey operation from start to finish. And it's set amongst this picturesque surrounding. It's very quiet. At times there are speedboats and water skiers and all the aquatic sports going on, but that's to be expected. But what you don't have are belching smokestacks with poisonous fumes. You don't have polluted city air. You don't have rude people. You have polite people. You have fun people. You have low cost. You have just a wonderful environment. The neighbors are great. I can say, and this is very, very attractive. But one of the things that I was most interested in is the setting for this place, and the layout for this place is just perfect for doing what I have wanted to do, which is to put on seminars, weekend retreats, have 20, 30, 40, you could even have 50 people at a time come. And stay here and have speakers, have health events, have economic events, teaching people about finances and the like. It could be anything. And that could be done during the winter time when the rest of Europe, Northern Europe certainly, is shut down with snow and cold and ice and all of that. And they come here to enjoy the lovely weather, the low cost, and really, frankly, the friendlier people.
That sounds wonderful, and thank you very much for sharing. And my question is, that sounds great, but then why invest here? Why do you think this would be a great investment? What makes you want to be here? So that is all wonderful, and we love being here. But then the question is, okay, does that make it worth investing here?
Well, it depends on a number of reasons that someone might have. I mean, if they want to take advantage of the Portuguese tax paradise, so to speak, the golden visa and the like, then this is indeed the place. And if
compatible with the golden visa, by the way.
And but then I'm not the expert on it. You and your team are really the experts on that, so I won't pretend to lecture, or give forth on that sort of thing. But why here? One thing I like about this part of Portugal, admittedly, it's not on the ocean, but then you don't have to worry about, the earthquake dropping the coastline into the sea or something like that, like it happened in November 1755 in Lisbon. But you're safe inland. It's not overdeveloped and swarming with tourists like the Algarve or Lisbon. You're really getting the more authentic Portugal here. It's not a hotbed of tourism. So if you want to do the tourist thing, that's another area, another forte. But if you want to be in a relaxed environment, if you want to have a property that's going to last and and always be popular because of these views, and if you want to have really a calmer existence, then this is the place. If you want to be in Lisbon or Porto, that's a whole different scenario. But if you want calm and relaxation and you want some beauty in your life, then this is the place to be.
Thank you very much for sharing. So if I understood you correctly, not only in quality of life, this place is wonderful, you can also have all of those activities, the seminars and trainings and whatever it is. It also makes sense financially. Not only for foreigners who want maybe a golden visa, but I'm guessing this could also bring some healthy returns for an investor that maybe is looking for something like that.
Well, I think so. I think if it's done right, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to make it be able to be done right, but if it's done right, yes, it's a healthy investment. And after 4 or 5 years, you could have your money back out of it, perhaps.
Oh, wow.
And then, but I'm not a financial expert. I mean, I'm just an attorney. So you talk to the bean counters and the experts on that for the real details, so I won't make any representations on that. But I will say that I think, in my opinion, and I've looked at this property, if it's done right, it could be financially fruitful for any investor.
That sounds great. And again, if anybody wants to have more information about this, we'll leave the links down in the description, in the comments. You can go in there, you can check all of the information. If you need any extra clarifications, you can send us an email. If you have any questions for Scott, you can ask him as well. There are some projects that he's working also that maybe you'd like to share too, in case someone could help you with what you're doing personally.
Well, really what I was saying before about having the weekend seminars and retreats and even weekday ones, and you could stack these up and have a lot of these people passing through the property, and actually they could become future guests on their own once they've been exposed to the property. So it has kind of a double duty going on there, where you're engaging in actually free advertising, well, not necessarily free advertising, but wider advertising than one might think. And I see that as a real possibility, and that's something I'd like to be involved in. There's also room here. They have a kitchen, they have an opportunity to actually turn this into something where you could have a really nice restaurant if someone were inclined to that.
Interesting.
And the other thing that's interesting is that there are a lot of farmers in the area you can get local food from, whether it's duck eggs, chicken eggs, fruits from the trees, everything. It's very plentiful around here, and it's not hard to get.
Very, very good, and thank you very much. So I think we gave plenty of reasons why the property and the area would be a wonderful consideration.
Well,
now,
let me just say
yes.
The other thing, and one thing that attracts me is, obviously there are opportunities in the south of France, the Côte d'Azur, even the Italian Riviera, all of that. But the price of the properties here is much, much lower, and you have an opportunity for people to come in and buy at a low rate while you still can. And I think that's an advantage that you don't have elsewhere. I've lived in many different places, even the Côte d'Azur, and it's quite pricey. And I think Portugal, certainly central Portugal, offers a lot of opportunities that still exist here.
yes,
So,
yes, and there are still many great deals to be found. And
Yeah.
so now the question is, moving from the actual property itself, this is a double question. So first, what would you be looking for, in an investor, in a partner? And secondly, why would they benefit from partnering up with you?
well, I mean, it's a two-way street, so it would have to be really a mutual, I hate to use the American expression, but it's very apt, and that's a win-win situation. And I have people actually lined up who could manage the property. A nice couple who would love to manage the property, so that goes hand in glove with it. The seminars and all of that we could put on, that we could advertise, that's a plus. I'm also open to other ideas, and so there's an opportunity for an investor to have his or her ideas as to what they would like to do as well. Nothing's really set in stone in that respect. There's a lot of possibility of flexibility, but it really need to be someone with integrity, someone who's honest, and
that's the only kind of people we work with.
Okay, good, because that's just as important as any of the other factors. And it could be someone who wants to be passive, or they can be as active as they would like. So
interesting.
It doesn't have to be one or the other.
So allow me to recap then what would be the advantages for your new investor partner. So first of all, they wouldn't really have to worry about managing it. It would be basically be a turnkey investment because you already have that lined up. Secondly, they can also provide feedback and create suggestions and maybe shape this to be an even better investment because it's already running well, and you can easily see things that can be improved even more and have even more income from it. And also, they can either be active or passive depending on what their interests are.
True. The other thing we might add is that the existing staff who's here would be more than happy to work with any new owners. So you also have that as an easy transition.
Scott, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. I could pick your brain for days. I think I have so much more information. Like if I was watching this, I would invest. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But is there anything else that you'd like to say before we wrap this up?
But I could expand on what I said earlier. I don't see that I have much to expand on, except that the idea of the weekend retreats, the idea of the seminars during the low months, where there's not as much traffic or not as much occupancy. I could see a way that could easily be filled in with these weekend retreats or even week-long retreats where people come down from Scandinavia or UK or Ireland or even from North America, come across and or Poland, Germany, and stay here, and that they're educated on healthy living, healthy foods, alternative medical treatments that are available. We have a lot of information on that, the organization that I'm president of, and I think there's a wide appeal. There's a wide appeal here, and this wide appeal would bring in a lot of people that most normal investors wouldn't be aware exist, and they would come in and be a market that's out there, and it would be easy. We also have someone locally who could give tours around the area. There's a lot of touristic sites to see in Tomar, in the Roman bridge that I mentioned. She's Portuguese and does this for a living, gives these tour guide events, and would be ready, willing, and able to do just that. There are also people whom I know who have ideas about what to do on the weekend seminars and the like, and it could even be financial, which I think I mentioned earlier on. It could be obviously health, it could be health freedom, it could be about your rights, your legal rights in the EU, in the world in general. There are even skills that can be done. There are people who could come here with all the aquatic sports going on here. How many children don't know how to swim? How many children never water skied? I started water skiing when I was 9 years old. I mean, I could see, young kids learning to do that out here, and they'd never have the opportunity, easily at least, as they would here.
And this is such a wonderful place.
It
too.
is. It's very wonderful, and it's just a safe place to be too.
Obviously, I'm biased, but I can't wait to see this really flourish and all of these ideas that you have, because I kind of want to come here too.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you very much for watching. All of the links, all of the information is on the description. It's on the comments. You have our contact details. Anything you need, you talk to us.
Yeah.
Scott, thank you very much once again.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Let's find you your new investor.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.